remember it was ginger and all of that, but nothing. Water with lemon today with the same bone, and then followed by garlic, 2 cloves of purple garlic, and then exercise as usual. Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. Exercise as usual. Then bitter food has to come in today. Had to take kudin tea. That's it here. That's the kudin tea. Had to make it. And then why? Because occasional bitters is a healthy way. It's a healthy way. We've been eating carbohydrates. Most of our foods are mostly carbohydrates. Been taking it Monday, Tuesday, and all the days. Then, occasionally, within these 7 days, I thought also to also add bitter. So I made the kudin tea. I brewed it this morning after taking the water therapy, after taking the water therapy with the lemon juice, with garlic. And of course, I prepared the kudin tea, which is quite bitter. But that is not to say that it must be kudin. It could be neem tea. That's dogoyaro. There are other bitter teas that you can also take, depending on your region. Even dandelion is a bitter tea. So bitter foods are basically targeted at the liver. For me, that's my target, because it's one of the most important organs that we should bear in mind. And of course, you will remember that carrot and garlic egg didn't feature today and yesterday. You know, I've been on that carrot for like 3-4 days. But of course, has to be changes, like I said. Dietary changes. It doesn't have to just be one thing every day. That the body doesn't like it. It's not a best way. You can do that for a few days, but then you need to make a change. So the kudin tea was a very good one, quite refreshing. And of course, when you include any bitter thing, after a few days or about that, you will experience, it could be bitter leaf. You will experience some kind of cooling and refreshing, calmness, because the liver is actually sometimes injured. I do feel it occasionally. Now, but some people don't know, maybe because I don't know how I got to become so aware of some of these things, but it gets injured at times when we consume too much carbohydrates and then engage in stress. It doesn't like stress. When you stress, it gets injured. And then at times it's heated, it's hot, just like a car engine gets heated up. And it's crying for help. If you check for some, if you go through some of my posts, my blog posts, you see I've written some things about, the liver food and how, at times it's really hot, like a car engine, and it needs something to cool it. And what is that? It's bitter foods. Bitter foods are cooling and refreshing to rejuvenate the liver and make it to continue to do its work in bile production, a lot of fat metabolism, a lot of other things. And when this thing stops, then we say we are sick. So we need to include occasional bitters. Don't overdo it. I didn't. Within the period of the 7 days, you can imagine it has just featured today and was quite refreshing. Honestly, I felt quite, when I was taking it, I felt quite refreshing. But when you don't need it, even when you taste it, you won't like it. That's how it happens to me. Some time ago, it was neem tea, and it was great. So there are no two foods like that are exactly the same. The point is that most of us, we just get a particular food, maybe we read online or somebody told us about it, how good it is. We just go and buy plenty of it and focus on it. And we wouldn't even ask of the ugly sides of it, because every food has its own ugly side. That's another thing you need to take home. There's no food that is perfectly perfect, that It doesn't have an ugly side.